Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group are going to present our research on perception toward judiciary system in Malaysia among communities in CFS Iium Gambang. So, this is my group mates. So, the first one we have Amirul, which is he's going to present about summary and result. Next, the pie chart, which is will be presented by Dahlia. And then me, myself, Azrul Ahmad Darwish, will be presenting about political concept, and the explanation of the result will be presented by Dia Tihani, and the last one, Islamic values, will be presented by Zuyin.
Presenting our summary of our research on topic how the SFS-IIUM community feels about the Malaysian judiciary system. This topic became especially important after some recent political events that made people question whether our courts are truly fair and independent. Leadership theory. Basically, the theory sees leaders as role models who inspire trust through honesty and good values. We are applying this idea to judiciary because we believe the court should act like leaders that people can trust. First is political legitimacy, which means how much people accept the authority of the courts. Second is public trust, or how much people believe the judiciary is fair and does its job properly. Furthermore, we look at two current issues that got a lot of public attention. The first is 2024 decision to drop charge in the 1MDB case involving Najib Razak. The second is rumor 2025 royal order that would let him serve his jail time under house arrest. This event made many people wonder if the judiciary is truly independent or if it is being influenced by politics. We did a survey using Google Forms and sent it out to students and staff at CFSIIM. Based on the surveys, we can see mixed opinion in the results. Some people trust the transparency of our judiciary system, but there are many of them who is skeptical and believe our system is not as independent as it seems. This is often because of what they see in the media and result of the case. Frankly speaking, this study helps us see how important trust is in our justice system and how current events can really affect the way people see it.
We already have conducted a survey about perception toward judiciary system in Malaysia among CFS community using Google Form as medium. There are few people who are contribute in this survey. The first question in our survey was how transparent do you think the Malaysia court proceedings are? Based on the response we received, one person said the court proceedings are very transparent, four people said they are transparent, three people felt that the proceedings are not very transparent, and no one selected not transparent at all. So overall, most participants believe that the Malaysian court proceedings are somewhat transparent, with the majority choosing either transparent or very transparent. However, there are still a few who think the system lack transparency to some extent. And the next one, the second question in our survey was, do you believe the judiciary in Malaysia is independent from political influence? From the response, zero people believe the judiciary is completely independent. Four people said it is independent, and the four people believe it is not really independent, and no one selected not independent at all. This means the responses are evenly split. Half of the participants believe the judiciary has some level of independence, while the other half are more skeptical and think political influence still exists. So it is clear that public perception on judicial independence is mixed. The third question in our survey was, how fair do you think court decisions are in Malaysia? Here what our respondents said. Zero people said court decisions are very fair. Five people believe they are mostly fair. Three people think court decisions are often unfair, and one said they are very unfair. From this, we can see that the majority of participants view court decision as mostly fair, suggesting a generally positive perception. However, with 3 out of 8 respondents saying the decisions are often unfair, it's clear that there are still concerns about consistency or impartiality in the legal system. The next one, the fourth question in our survey was, how confident are you in the judge's ability to make decisions based on law and evidence? According to the response, 2 people said they are very confident, 5 people said they are confident, 1 people said they are not very confident, and no one selected not confident at all. To show that the majority of participants, 7 out of 8, have a positive level of confidence in judge ability to decide case based on the law and evidence. Although there is one respondent who expressed some doubt, overall the result is indicate a generally strong trust in the judiciary, professionalism and fairness. The fifth question in our survey was, do you think the judiciary treat all citizens equally regardless of status or wealth? Here are the results. 0 people said yes always, 5 people responded sometimes, 2 people said rarely, and 1 person said never. This tells us that none of the participants believe there is full equality is in how the judiciary treat people, while the majority of 5 respondents believe there is occasional fairness. There is still a significant portion, 3 out of 8, who are more critical, saying it either rarely happened or never happened. Overall, this result reflect a lack of strong confidence in the judiciary ability to treat all citizens equally, especially when status or wealth are involved. And then the next one is the sixth question in our survey was, do you think corruption exists in the Malaysian judiciary? According to the response, 0 people said no, not at all. 1 person believed corruption exists very rarely, and 5 people said it occurs occasionally. 2 people believe it happens frequently. This means that all respondents believe corruption exists to some degree within the judiciary, while most think it happens only occasionally. The fact that 2 participants believe it occurs frequently and none deny its existence highlights ongoing public concern regarding integrity and accountability in the system. The final question for MCQ question in our survey was, in your opinion, how important is the judiciary in maintaining justice in Malaysia? The response were, 4 people said the judiciary is extremely important, 4 people said it is important, 0 people said it is not very important, and it is not important at all. This showed that all respondents recognize the judiciary crucial role in upholding justice in Malaysia, with half saying it as extremely important and the other half as important. This unanimous view highlight a strong appreciation for the judiciary role despite concern rise in other areas. Next, we got two question, opinion based question. The first one is, do you think the public trust the judiciary in Malaysia? Why or why not? The answer vary and showing a range of opinions. Some respondents express overall confidence, mentioning that many Malaysians still trust the judiciary, especially when it acts independently and enforce the law fairly, even in high-profile cases. Others said the judiciary is trusted but noted that the public often distrusts the law itself. One participant emphasized trust because of responsible execution by the judiciary. However, they were concerned about misuse of power and manipulation within the judiciary by certain individuals. A few respondents point out issues such as bias and specific controversy like the UPNM case, which have affected public perception. Corruption was also highlighted as a key reason for distrust. On the positive side, one respondent mentioned trust teaming from the judiciary being made up of educated professionals. Overall, this mix of view reflects both trust and skepticism, in the Malaysia Judiciary, highlighting areas where public confidence could be strengthened. The last opinion-based question was, in your own word, what do you think are the main strength or weakness of the Malaysian judiciary? The answer highlighted both strength and weakness in the system. Strength mentioned by participants included an established legal framework and experienced judge who are capable of handling complex cases. Moreover, the idea that no one is above the law, showing the judiciary potential to uphold justice fairly. Other than that, judicial independence was seen as a positive aspect, with some participants expressing trust in judge decision. However, several weaknesses were also noted. First weakness is political and palace influence were commonly mentioned as major concern, affecting perception of judicial neutrality. Second, delay in court proceedings were highlighted as a practical weakness, with cases taking a long time to resolve. Other than that, public perception of bias where just where judge may bring personal or external bias into decision. And moreover, corruption was raised as an ongoing issue that damages trust in the judiciary. And last but not least, one participant also noted a lack of enforcement where judicial ruling may not be effectively upheld by the executive branch. In summary, while the Malaysian judiciary has structural strengths and public trust in some areas, concern around independence, efficiency, and transparency continue to challenge its credibility.
Okay, so now we move on to the relevant political concept that we have agreed on, which is related to this research and also the result. So the first political concept is power, and the second one is political culture. Okay, so the first political concept is power. So basically, what is power? Power is the ability of an individual or group to to influence or control the behavior and decision of others. So how power related to this political how how power is related to this research and the result. So basically, the first point is political influence undermines judicial independence, which is in this case, the power is political influence, and the power is used by the political actors. The second one is corruption, and enforcement issues reflects indirect control over the judiciary. So this shows that the political influence has led to corruption and enforcement issue, which caused the judiciary to become uh, not independent and also not so. Because of this corruption, it has shown to the community that our judicial system are not that independent. So the elaboration of this is that this based on the survey, 50% of the respondents believe that Malaysia judiciary is not independent from because of political influence, and 62.5% believe corruption exists occasionally in the judiciary system. So, this basically directly reflects how power is used, which is political influence is used to control the judicial system, and it can interfere with judicial decision making, reducing its fairness and autonomy, which should not happen because judicial system should be an independent system and has no influence in it. So, uh, next, furthermore, uh, we can see that these power are soft power because political actors may not exercise hard power like military, but they use influence and something like bribery to influence the result, which make it a soft power. Um, Okay, so this based on the survey, people perceive judicial decision as being influenced by the power and then rather be purely based on the law and evidence. Okay, so for example, the community see the delays in enforcing rulings or biased judgment as misuse of power by the political actors, and it has undermines the judicial independence. That's all. So let's go to the next one. The next political concept is political culture. So political culture refers to the set of attitudes, beliefs, and values that people hold towards politics and the political system. So this also includes how citizens view political authority, their role in the system, and their expectation from institutions. So this must come in three ways: is cognitive, affective, and evaluative. Which is cognitive is they actively thinking about the politics. The second one is what they feel about the politics, and the third one is they are judging the politics system. So political culture based on the survey and the research. With the first one, the response reflect a developing participant political culture with active evaluation of the system. And it shows that the community are part of participant in terms of engagement in political culture. So why is this? So basically, the survey reveals that why people view the judiciary as extremely very important. Many also doubt its fairness, which is 62.5%, and question its equal treatment, which is 12.5% say that it only okay, sorry. So basically only 12.5% say the judiciary system treats everyone equally. So basically they realize the importance of law in Malaysia, and they also engage in the judiciary system that we have today based on their evaluation. So basically, based on the survey, we can see that the community engage in cognitive component, which is the respondent demonstrate awareness about the importance of judiciary function in Malaysia. For example, they agree 100% that the judiciary system is important, and that shows the understanding of the that shows their understanding of the importance of judiciary system in our democratic government. The second one is affective component because they feel and they express their frustration over bias and corruption in our judiciary system. This indicates the citizens are emotionally engaged with political institution because they express their feeling regarding the judiciary system. So the third one is evaluative component, which is the community critically assess the judiciary, and they can identify the strength and weaknesses. Based on the survey, most of the participants can can identify the strength and the weakness of our judiciary system, which shows they assess and evaluate every component of the judiciary system. So basically, our community does not passively accepting the judiciary system, but they assess and they judge every aspect of the component that should be in the right way. So the conclusion for political culture is basically the citizens are not passive like in a parochial or subject culture. Instead, they actively thinking, they express their feeling, and they judge and they assess the judicial system, which make them participant culture. Okay, so that's all for That's all for political concept.
So I will present explanation of the result, why it happened. So there is five causes that happen based on the result. So first is political interference. In the past, some court decisions were believed to be influenced by politics, making people doubt it. Judges are truly independent. For example, in Datuk Sri Najib Razak SRC trial, some Malaysians believe political pressure may have affected certain part of the process. This creates doubt about whether the judiciary is truly independent from government influence. Second is unequal treatment. Many feels that rich or powerful people get better treatment in court, which seems unfair to ordinary citizen. People often feels that wealthy or powerful individual gets better treatment in court, such as faster hearing or lighter sentence compared to regular citizen. Next is lack of transparency. Court cases are not always open or clear to the public, causing people to question how decisions are made. This makes it hard for people to trust the outcome if they don't understand how it was decided. Next is corruption concern. Past corruption cases and weak action against dishonest judges make people believe corruption still exists. A scandal like VK Lingam case left a strong impression, even if it happened years ago. It still affects public trust today because there has not been enough visible action to prevent similar issues. Lastly, media influence. News and social media often focus on negative story, which affect how people view the whole justice system. Um, Social media and the news tend to focus on negative cases like delayed trials or controversial judgment. Even when judges act fairly, the public mainly sees the bad, and this shape a more negative overall view. So next, I will present what the future will be. So there is five possibility that may be happen in the future. So first is increased demand for reform. Public pressure may grow for a more transparent, fair and politically independent judiciary. People are more aware and want a judiciary that truly fair and not influenced by politics. The second one is judicial reform will be expected. They may be calls for a better judge appointment, stronger anti-corruption measures, and clearer separation from political influence. The public may push for a cleaner judge appointment and stronger anti-corruption system. The third one is technology and transparency tool may rise. Court may adopt digital systems and open access platform to improve public trust and understanding. To regain trust, court may turn to digital tools like publishing judgment online or holding virtual hearing to make the process more open and accessible. The fourth one is risk of declining trust. If issues remain unaddressed, public confidence could erode further, weakening the judiciary legit- legitimacy. If these problems are ignored, people may lose even more faith in the system, which could hurt the credibility and legitimacy of entire judiciary. The last one is youth as driven of change. A more aware and vocal younger generation may push for a cleaner, more accountable justice system. Malaysia's younger generation is more vocal and socially aware. They could become a major force in pushing for a more honest and accountable justice system.
So, for the Islamic values, the first one is Justin, or also known as Al-Ard. Based on the data that we have collected and what Dahlia has been present, it shows that justice or adil is a fundamental principle in Islam. So the public often doubts whether all citizens are treated equally by the judicial system. As we know, justice is strongly emphasized in Islam and is mentioned more than 20 times in Al Quran. One example is from Surah An-Nahl, verses 19. Indeed, Allah commands you to uphold justice. So, therefore, emphasizing the value of adil highlights the need to reform the system to ensure justice is served fairly, regardless of someone's status or wealth. The second one is trustworthiness, or known as amanah. So, from the data that has been presented, we see the judges carry a huge responsibility when making decisions that affects people's lives and dignity. So sadly, the presence of corruption and unfair ruling shows that this trust is being broken. So this is why the Quran in Surah An-Nisa verses 58 remind us that indeed Allah command you to render trust to whom they are due. So the value of amanah must be a key principle in building a fair and trustworthy in judicial system.
Okay, so basically this is the end of our presentation. So, the conclusion of this research, survey and this presentation, it shows that while Malaysians recognize the importance of the judiciary, many also doubt its fairness, independence and integrity. Most believe it is influenced by politics and affected by corruption. Uh, based on based on the findings that we have done. So these findings reflect, we recap back, this finding reflects the concept of power and influence through soft power, and this uh, also this research also reflects a participant culture in our political culture where citizens are aware uh, emotionally, cognitively, and also engaged in our system critically. So, last but not least, restoring trust will require strong independence, transparency, and accountability in the judiciary based on our, okay, I'm sorry. So, basically, last but not least, based on our leadership theory, which is transformational leadership theory, the judiciary is viewed as a leadership institution. So it is important, sorry. So it is important for us to for the judiciary system to restore the trust, to require a stronger independence, transparency, and accountability in the judiciary, which is important in our democracy system. That's all from us. Thank you very much.